Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Don. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Yay.
Been looking forward to this guest for a long time.
Yeah.
One of our best friends.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the studio.
Yes, love it.
It's very professional.
Very.
Also, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick if you don't mind.
Of course.
If you guys have ever noticed the pictures hanging up behind Jacob, just letting you know, Amanda has been with us the whole time.
Yep.
Yes.
She's in that group shot.
An
up there.
OG.
Yeah. So,
Well,
cool.
I think we're going to start this one just right off. This is about you,
Okay.
at least the beginning. So we want to start off by just telling us who you are and how did you get started in photography?
Who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
I'm Amanda.
You are Amanda.
Yeah. So interesting enough, I took photography in high school
Mhm.
because I thought it'd be an easy A.
Oh.
Yeah, quickly learned that
It is not.
it's not. Yeah, that means doing work outside of class, and yeah. So, but my English teacher saw some of my photos and was like, "Hey, why don't you come do photos on your book for me next year?" And I was like, "All right." I only had like 2 classes to graduate, so had to fill my schedule somehow. So I was like, "All right, cool, let's do it." And then I quickly fell in love with it.
Mm.
Yeah, and after high school, delved into local bands, stuff like that around town, and then people started getting married and having babies, and things changed.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous. This is another guest we talked to who has, so you've always done photography.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was a kid, like I remember, like I remember like the little 110 film cameras from back in the day. Like my
Mhm.
parents got me one of those when I was little, so like I did photography on like cameras growing up all the time.
So this is the only like career you've had.
No, I worked in jewelry for 20 years.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Filling in the gaps.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
20 years. I started when I was
right.
14. Yeah, for
God.
piercing pagoda. Yep.
See,
That.
Yep.
you can't
Okay.
just start photography. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie did.
Yeah, some of us do.
Yeah.
It's rare, very rare. I feel like most of us kind of fall into it,
Mhm.
and then you're like, "Oh, I kind of dig this."
Mhm.
So yeah,
And what is your photography company name?
TuKe Photography.
And we'll get into what you do here in a second. But how did you meet us?
Oh, you two beautiful
Yeah.
people. Good old House of Mouse.
That's right.
DEG Disney
Sure
Fine Art
thing.
Photography.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
When did you start?
2013.
Okay, I started in 2011,
Yeah,
2014.
2014. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you came in. You were what I called that, like the younger generation. That like there was me, you, Beth. I'd throw Jake in there.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that kind of were like, I don't like any of the way this is.
Yeah, we're gonna switch things up.
Yeah. This is how you shoot it. Yeah, we're not gonna shoot it.
No,
like that
we're gonna
anymore.
do it
Yeah.
totally different.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do the same cookie cutter thing
Yeah.
every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I felt there was a lot of pushback at first to that.
Oh,
or
for
like a
sure.
lot of like, and eventually said, too bad.
Yeah.
The brides love us.
Yeah.
That's what saved us. Is I feel like of us here, we have very good personalities with couples. We can connect very quickly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that, I'm going to say the word saved us, but it did because it was really hard for them to be like, well, you're not supposed to shoot it like this. Oh, did the bride complain? No, they love the photos. Oh.
Yeah, mhm,
Right.
mhm, yep,
Or where
yeah.
they were already like they hadn't even seen the pictures yet and like writing emails.
Yeah, how
Correct.
much they loved us and
Yeah.
loved the
Mhm.
experience, and yeah.
I remember I learned how to shoot ring photos from you.
Oh yeah.
We were on a wedding
Mm-hmm.
at Atlantic Dance Hall.
Yep.
On like one of the back, like on the upper level on one of the tables. And like, that's when I learned. I don't think I told you I was learning.
Yeah.
Actually, and I also remember like, I would always try to come help you whenever you're doing ring photos. But we were, I remember another time we were at Living Seas and you were like in the rocks.
Oh
Doing
yeah. Living
something.
Seas, I used to go ham at. Yeah. Yeah.
And be like, Amanda, can I come help?
Yeah. No, ring.
Yeah.
I mean, working in jewelry for 20 years.
It makes sense.
Kind of makes sense, right? Yeah. So the ring shots, to this day, they're still one of my favorite things to do, because you can be like super creative with it. You can put elements from the wedding in. You can tie in things from the couple. Like I did one recently where they were Gator fans, so I used like a blue gel and an orange gel, and I like half lit both sides, so you'd have the blue and orange, and then had the rings like
Nice.
nice and in the color they should be.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, yeah, it's just ring shots are to this day one of my favorite things to do. Yeah.
I think they're fun too because like not everyone wants their own photos hanging on the wall in their houses, but like that could be something that someone who doesn't want their picture up, but they still want something like
From
their wedding day, like that could be something that
for sure. Yep.
They hang.
And that's actually one of the things that's on our walls is like a picture of our rings. So like to me, it's kind of one of the things that is important. So.
Well, thank you for teaching.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I remember, Amanda, you weren't the first, obviously, but you were the one who really embraced the 14.
Oh yeah.
But like in the correct way, because before that, everyone was using fisheye.
Yeah.
And I hate fisheye. So like I didn't use it that much. And then like we got the 14s in and you started using it and I was kind of like,
what's she doing?
Yeah. And especially when we were shooting at Disney, there were so many things that the 14 shines on.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's
even
like
things that don't make sense. Yeah. So then I was just like, oh, that's all of a sudden one of my go-to lenses now was the 14.
Yeah. The 14, especially bridals at Magic Kingdom, you can get the new pillars that they put in. So you can get both of those and the castle. You can get inside of an arch, laying upside down, of course, because we all know we're like professional yoga masters.
Yes.
And you can just, the ability that it gives you to capture really the essence of the Magic Kingdom and the different, houses and whatnot in there. It just lets you get all of that in a really creative, broad perspective.
And for us non-photographers, what do I mean by 14? I guess I should restrict that. What is it?
14 to 24 millimeter lens.
Yes.
So ultra wide.
Yeah. And we probably should have brought one, but I didn't even think about it. But it has almost like a bubble on it. Like it's a curved glass. So it does that curved look, but it's not the fisheye curve.
Right. It doesn't distort the whole image the way that a fisheye does.
And especially you can get right up on the couple and it keeps them pretty, like as long as you're on the same plane as them, it'll keep them very consistent, but yet still kind of give you that panoramic look. It's pretty versatile.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I remember, it's true though that in my brain, Amanda is linked with that lens because when I went to Japan and we went to the Nikon museum, I took a picture.
There's a picture of her?
Of like, no.
I have been told I'm famous in Japan. I don't know.
It was like an 8 millimeter lens or something, but it had
I remember that huge dome
bubble on like the front of the lens. And I took a picture and sent it to her.
Yep. I was like drooling when I got that photo. I was like, oh my God, what is this lens?
Yeah. Oh my God. Why can't we just have a day where we like try different cameras and lenses from all different brands and sizes and
tell them, please.
I'm down. I'm down.
Anyone.
Yeah.
How fun would that be?
Right? That would be, I've always wanted to do that actually with like flash modifiers and like to really show people like, okay, if you use this one, this is what it looks like, and there's some stuff out there, but like, I think that would be a fun one too. Like, okay, this is really what a snoot looks like, or this is really what, an 86-inch PLM looks like, Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, I don't have an 86.
Oh, it's
you need to get one.
Chef's kiss. The light is soft and gorgeous. Yeah,
I know. There's a bar mitzvah photographer that I watch on YouTube because he's also a Fuji like reviewer. Like he uses Fuji for fun, but then he also does bar mitzvahs. So I'm always like watching all of his content. And he has like a 90-inch umbrella softbox that he brings to the temples with him. And it's ridiculous because he just has a speed light inside of it.
Yeah.
But it's like...
Yeah.
They built the temple around it.
Yeah. But they used a crane to lower it in.
But then it's just an umbrella softbox. So he just folds it back up and like carries it out under his arm.
Wow.
Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So when did you started at Disney? Did they hire you in as anything specifically? Because I feel like all of us have been like, we were all hired in different thing. Like sometimes they told us what they wanted us to do and it was completely different.
Yeah. So when I was hired, I was told that they were going to put me like, it was like portrait route, convention route, right? So they're like, we're going to try you in both and see kind of where you fall. And, apparently I could do both. So I did for a long time. And then obviously I went more wedding route. And then I would do conventions here and there if they needed someone to fill in, because I could handle it. But definitely it was like, let's see kind of where you fit. I think they've always thought I would be more portrait, but, and then I also did like some editing and stuff, back end, like all of us did eventually, I think.
Yeah.
we all became kind of the any key for like, just fill us in.
Yeah.
Right.
Where do you need us?
Right.
We got you. Yeah.
We've done a little of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the only thing I haven't done is like the new virtual backgrounds that they have. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
how to do that stuff.
I think that I remember that screen got installed like towards like right towards 2020. So that stuff I didn't get to do either.
By that point too, I was like, not that I was like, this is beneath me. Like, bring someone else to do this.
Truth be told, it is not a good use of resources.
No, it is not.
Like if you have someone who can shoot weddings and bridal portraits,
yeah,
you don't need them doing.
You don't need them doing something that you can teach someone to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
By like, here's your instruction sheet.
Yeah.
So.
Set your camera to this. Set your light
yeah,
to this.
exactly.
Boom, go. Yeah.
Right. So I just have always been like, oh no, I didn't go through the training. Sorry, not available.
Do you want me on a $3,000 session or this $200 or this free one you're doing for the company? Because usually they're for the company itself, so it's all fake.
I remember when it came into, they're like, don't touch it with your hand, and like for me, that's like.
I sneezed on it.
It was so I'd never touched it, but it was a very hard because we did headshots and stuff in there. So I was like, don't touch the screen, don't touch like the inner child in me wanted to touch it so bad. Just yeah.
Do you remember your first wedding, your first portrait session?
My first wedding that I was a third shooter on was actually with Stephanie.
Nice.
And Scott. And Scott.
All right. That's a fun combo.
Yeah.
They're married, right?
No.
Okay.
Different Stephanie and Scott. I was a third shooter on that one. I remember that was the first one we did. It was Grand Floridian. So Pavilion. The
grand special.
The grand
special, baby.
Yeah, it was all boom, 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 all at the grand. But it was fun. I had a lot of fun, and because I was third, I kind of got to like just play and do whatever I wanted. And when they needed something moved, I was like, oh sure, I'll move the light stand. But it was fun because you got to just do whatever and not have that pressure. Yeah,
it's a good way to start.
Yeah.
Yep. We talk a lot about the joys of second shooting.
Some of us just got thrown into the pit.
Yeah.
And just had to shoot right away.
Yeah.
When it became time for weddings.
Yeah. I did not. I did the same thing. I finally found it, but I remember third shooting with Stephanie and Jacob at one point.
Yeah.
Doing fireworks at Boardwalk, from Atlantic Dance Hall. But I definitely
3 shooters on that. Wow.
Yeah.
That was tight.
She needed to learn somehow.
I think it was just to learn how to shoot fireworks, which is like a terrible spot to learn.
That's like one of the worst.
But
yeah.
Awesome.
Bridal.
Yeah, do you remember your first, especially one that you were on your own when it was like, hey, this is $3,000 and it's all on me.
I don't remember the first. No. I have ones that I remember that were like, kind of key core memories and stuff, but like, yeah, not the first.
I remember my first one by myself only because the groom showed up in shorts and suspenders.
Well, that would definitely make it memorable. Yeah.
So it was my first one by myself. Joe was with me. And they were from Australia. And the bride I think she was in like a T-length dress. Like skinny straps and just like a very simple T-length. And then he was it was almost like a Bavarian style, like shorts and suspenders situation.
I thought you were going to tell me she had like a 15-foot gown and he was in shorts and suspenders.
No. And he like had a dress shirt on with like the sleeves rolled up. But I do think it was very cold.
Yeah.
But I will not forget it. And they were so fun and like easy. And it was just like the perfect first one to have by myself because they were not the type that was like, did you get my shot list?
Right.
Like they were like, whatever you want to do. This is so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shot lists.
Favorite place to shoot at Magic Kingdom?
Magic Kingdom. Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Hands down. Love to get the gels out and get creative with all the dark and moody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Epcot?
That's a tie for me between Morocco and Italy because of the textures there. That's
Have you been there since they redid the tile work?
Inside the Fez house?
No, inside the fountains. They all retiled it all.
Oh,
and it's not as
I haven't shot there.
It's not as ornate. Like it's a simplified tile, like on that the big fountains.
The front one. Yeah.
It's just kind of a simpler. It's still pretty, but it I don't know. It feels like it.
I've walked past it like 100 times, but I haven't photographed it.
Because it used to be so detailed. With it. Now it's more just like big kind of chunks as opposed to the little like.
Yeah.
Morocco's a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when I got our old manager to take a photo in front of the phallic thing?
That no longer exists.
Yeah, that they took out.
I like to give tours and point out where it used to be, though. I'm like, this used to be.
But I totally got her to take a photo with the couple because it was I did a recovery, and it was such a bad recovery that like the
Manager had to come. Yep.
And I was shooting it and I nailed it, but then I was like, hey, let's take a photo right here, and let's all get in for a selfie. Totally got him to all take it. Whoops.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Studios?
Studios. Tower of Terror.
There's only one place.
Yeah.
I
Studios.
know.
I mean, it's tough.
Did you ever
but
get to shoot in Galaxy's Edge yet? Or did you?
no,
that's
that
gone.
was after I was
After
gone.
your
But
time.
yeah.
It's cool to shoot at, but you have so many restrictions of
Yeah.
what they can wear that it's actually not as fun. Like,
Yeah.
because they
I-
have to wear like
Yeah.
human clothes.
I did get to do a cool one at the original Star Wars area back when we were allowed to put them on the stage.
Yeah.
And we got lightsabers.
Mhm.
We added smoke and, all that in post. So, yeah.
Yeah. I did one in Galaxy's Edge where they cosplayed as
Oh, nice.
Han and Leia.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
so like he had the vest and the pants and like she
So it
had
looks legit.
she had
Yeah.
like a white jumpsuit kind of thing, but it had like very flowy fabric, so it looked kind of more like
Yeah.
robes.
Yeah.
I got a white sundress that was like, it was a dress, but it was all white.
Mm,
And he did a Han Solo type thing too.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's
She
not
had,
the same as like a full.
Yeah.
mine had like killer boots on too, like knee-high
Killer
silver
boots, man.
Mm,
All right.
look good. And I did with the gels, like the light
Mhm.
side, the dark side
Yeah.
kind of situation. And
The tower is great. Like,
Yeah.
you can,
I
it's just
mean,
mansion too.
it's
Same
just-
idea,
yeah.
but different looks.
There's, again, the textures. You have
Mhm.
all that beautiful stone facing. And yeah.
mhm.
And if it rains, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I feel like there are so many spots in and around Tower I've never even gotten the time to go to.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much potential there.
Absolutely. Yep. And the queue line alone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like there in the daytime too. I've had a few of those. I don't know if you guys ever had to do them, but they like during park hours, park shoots that were like so horrific to do because
No.
it would be like 9:30 a.m. and you had a 1 hour portrait session
I
in
remember
Hollywood
this,
Studios
but
or in Animal
I
Kingdom.
think I
Yeah.
probably refused to do them.
I think I escaped that.
But like you know where
Were they
like
families?
the courtyard,
Or
yeah,
anyone?
anyone. Like the courtyard on the side of Tower,
Yeah.
there's that little like
I work there,
seated
so
area?
I'm fully aware.
that little like seating area or whatever opposite that, and it has like a lattice work
Yeah,
above it. Like that's really pretty when the sun is coming
Mhm.
through, and
Yeah, I use that a lot
Yeah.
actually for bridals.
Mhm.
That section.
but yeah,
You know how
those daytime park shoots
old school
were-
she is with us because she calls them bridals
I know.
and not what are they?
And
Wedding
not portrait
por-
sessions,
premiere
Premiere portrait
PPSs?
sessions. Yeah, I mean it did at the end, but
Yeah.
like it was just so ingrained
Mhm.
I still
you
call
know?
them bridals.
that just you couldn't help it.
Mhm. Yep.
Yep.
And Animal Kingdom, just because let's do the trifecta.
Oh, we're not in Animal Kingdom. We all used to fight over Animal
Yeah.
Kingdom portrait
They
sessions
were
because
so rare.
they were so few and far between,
Yep.
and like they're just anywhere in there is amazing.
Every spot is a banger.
Literally every spot is a banger in there. You cannot go wrong, and I wish more people would do it. The only thing that I kind of didn't like was like the humidity level is so much higher, so you're like
Yes.
constantly wiping your lens with
I
the
know.
fog wipe.
And there's
but-
nowhere to park. Like
Yeah,
you are
No.
in Animal Kingdom, you are walking. You
Yeah.
can't even
Mhm.
try to like.
yeah,
You're just gonna go because you have to drive around the safari, and
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
the safari is long, like on the
On the
ride.
park,
Yeah,
Think about going around it and all the backstage
yeah.
Yeah.
animal facilities. So it,
I mean, the flag area,
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
always a must hit spot, but
did you do
anywhere.
Pandora?
no.
Ah.
And I'm like, because I finally, like last year was the first time I actually got to go and see it
Mm.
because it wasn't even done being built. Like when I it was because of COVID left,
Yeah.
And when I walked up to it, I was just like, oh my God. Like, and then I was my second initial feeling was anger because I never got to shoot it.
Yeah.
Well,
I have mixed feelings about
Yeah.
shooting in there though because a
it's
lot
never
of
lit.
it's never
Oh.
lit
Never.
when we're in there.
Yeah.
So you have to light everything.
Every shot.
Like-
So
you've seen of
19
mine-
lights is what I would
Yes.
take with me.
Yeah.
Every shot you've seen of mine that we've
Yeah.
shown, it is literally 5 to 6 lights
Yeah.
of gelled lights all over.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
would.
Well,
yeah.
and then you're not in there once the sun is up to get like the mountain. Like as the sun is coming up, like we're
Right.
already gone.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
We've either had to move on to the next spot because they want Pandora when it looks nighttime, but like it's nighttime. I even had a cast member who worked at Animal Kingdom. Like it was his portrait session. And we got in there and I'm like setting up the first shot. And, I'm internally panicking because there's no show lights. And he's like, there aren't any lights on. I was like, nope,
normal.
There aren't.
And I know you, we'll get into this, but you left, were you still like through COVID and they just didn't renew the contract?
So, I mean, technically, yes.
Yeah.
Because of the cruises and stuff, I hadn't worked at all in 2020. And then when it happened, obviously, all of our contractor positions went away. So
when we came back from COVID, bleep that out. I don't want to get demonetized for saying COVID. I don't know. Nothing worked because they had let go or furloughed so many people. Like I can't tell you how many weddings we went back into or shoots and like they couldn't turn on any of the lights. I told the story before, but I shot an Animal Kingdom wedding, one of the first ones back. They couldn't turn the Tree of Life on. No one knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And so like I had to bring in like 2 600s and put them in those trails. Yeah. They were out in front of it.
Yeah.
And like full power. And you would hear this boom. Just to light up the tree. Nothing worked when we came back.
Yeah.
Nothing worked.
That's a lot for
And I should say to bring this, all of us before COVID, we were actually independent contractors for Disney. We were not cast members.
Yeah.
So, we had, I used to say like we had green IDs and cast members had blue IDs. And there would be so many times when someone would come up to me about a situation. I'd be like, that's a blue ID problem.
Yeah. You might need to find a blue ID. Yeah.
In my head, I'm still a green ID. I mean, I'm not technically.
You're OG green. It's fine. You count.
And then when the pandemic happened, they canceled all the contracts.
Well, they all expired.
Anyway, but they
park
weren't
was closed.
We were told that they were not doing contracts again. They wanted everyone to be a cast member. Yeah. So when they brought us back from the pandemic, the four of us, the pandemic 4, they made us actual cast members.
Right.
We were still seasonal, so we were still we could work as much or as little as they needed us. Unfortunately,
or as we wanted.
Yeah. But that was kind of the difference there of when we started and stopped.
Yeah. Like tomorrow I have a shift at Disney and that'll be my first one since October, I think. So like
I'm like, what month are we in? Yeah. I don't even know how long that is.
We're in January.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then like October I did work 4 or 5 days.
Weddings.
But yeah, I don't.
Wedding season.
All right.
So after Disney.
Yeah.
Where did your career take you?
Well, I mean, even when I was at Disney, we were always doing TuKe on the side because being a contractor, I had that flexibility.
The same with us.
Yeah. And so, Laura had taken a step back from her corporate gig and we really kind of, headfirst dive into our business. And, 2020 was actually one of our busiest years. I think a lot of people realized the importance of family. And, sadly, we had a lot of people reach out to us for photos of people that had passed on for funerals. And, big parties for little ones weren't happening. So they're like, okay, let's make this a special, photo shoot for them so we can remember this time, which was also a lot because COVID 1-year-olds were not socialized. So we were some of the first people that these children had ever seen besides their family. And so parents and maybe siblings, maybe not. So it was definitely an interesting time for sure.
I not consider that. So just to be clear, like your main business is newborns and maternity, or like newborn 3 months, 6 months.
Right. So our portrait studio is a full service portrait studio. So we take care of everything for you. You're going to have your hair taken care of. Your outfits are all going to be taken care of. And we specialize in maternity, newborn, first year, family, obviously. And then, we still do some weddings here and there because why not?
Yeah.
We
take that money.
Spent about 10 years doing it, we can still do it. But yeah, I mean, we still pretty much if somebody needs something done, I can do it. So, but that's what we focus on.
Yeah. I always tell people I photograph all people except squishy newborn portraits and boudoir. Yeah. So if someone comes to me and they want the posed with the beanbag and the squishy little faces, I say, okay, great. You should go talk to me for Amanda. And then if like it's a upcoming wedding or something and they want boudoir photos. I'm like, okay, cool. Go talk to my friend Stephanie.
Yep.
Just because you guys specialize in those things. And like, I could never, the amount of props you guys have and like just the tools, I always try to explain to people, like doing a newborn session where you're just holding the baby in the nursery, that is totally different than like the posed portraits with all
night and day.
outfits.
Tell us the,
so
tell us the process.
Tell us about it.
So newborns, it's a science, honestly. And a lot of people like think weddings are crazy, but let a wedding photographer try to do a newborn and they're like, nope, I'll shoot a 24-hour wedding any day over a newborn. It's a science, you know, you're on their schedule because you can't really like tell them, hey, sit down, be still. So we take a lot of things into consideration. Safety is number one for us. You know, we're both trained and make sure that we know what the signs to look for, make sure that their airways aren't being blocked, making sure their limbs aren't, you know, the blood's not being compressed for too long. So we pay attention to safety, number one. And then there's things like the temperature of the room. There's no air vents in our studio space for newborns because they just came out of 98.6 degrees. They want to be hot. So cold areas are not their friends. We also have, you know, sounds that we do in the background of like womb heartbeats and shushes and everything is very warm and soft and cozy. And, you know, from there, it's just the different, like you said, the different props, the different posing pieces. Hello Little, that's who we get all of our posing pieces from the most part. And they are geniuses with what they've come out with because it makes it so easy. And it's just, it really, you have to know like all of these things. Like you said, going in to someone's home and just you're holding the baby and doing all that. That's, anybody can do that.
Right. Yeah. If you're a portrait photographer, you can do that. But I
remember like one of the first times you did a newborn and you like, I think you texted me or called me and I was like, I don't know how you do this.
That was my last one.
Yeah.
Also.
Your first and last. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's, even now, this many years later, everything you just said to me was completely
foreign. Look how stressed out she is right
I know, right?
Like,
do you need a moment? Do you need a moment?
She's sweating.
But,
I would not know to do any of that.
Yeah.
And there's no like, I mean, I know there's a time, but like, it's not like, oh, I have an hour session. You have an hour engagement.
No.
You have like an, not open-ended, but what is it?
It's not open-ended. We usually say anywhere from 2 to 4 hours because it depends on the baby. If the baby's gassy, you know, hasn't gone to the bathroom in a couple of days. These are all things that can make you go from, okay, this is a baby that sleeps the whole time and is amazing, in and out in 2 hours, to, okay, you're probably going to be here for 4 hours because the gas wakes them up. And so every time they're settled, usually, all right. Usually every time you get them into the perfect position, that's immediately when the gas hits and they're like, go from like, you know, this to like, and then it's awful and you have to reset the whole thing. So, and some of the poses, like the one I just did, the froggy, that one can take 30 minutes to get them into position comfortably and safely. So, you know, it really is, it's a science. And, you know, I always tell anybody going into newborn to get your education for sure, because you can try to wing it, but it's going to take you a lot longer to get things done versus getting the education and then doing it.
And you really want to mess up on a baby? On a newborn?
Yeah.
Not just a baby.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong very quickly. So.
And I've always heard, but do you have a time, like how long do you have before these photos don't work anymore, the newborn?
Well, so that changed a lot actually, again, after the pandemic. So we had, you know, the month shutdown. I think that month we had 8 babies scheduled for that month. And then we had to push them to the next month. And that next month we had, I think, 6 to 8 babies as well. So we had to try to work them all in together. And so some of our babies ended up being 12 weeks old. So you're talking a 3-month-old. And they wanted them posed like newborns. And so we're like, okay, you know, we kind of open mind, went into it. You know, my wife, Laura, she is a master poser with these babies. She's the one that gets them into these positions.
Oh, really?
I take the pictures. So we were just like, let's see what we can do. And honestly, some of the 3-month-olds were better than the 5-week-olds or 4-week-olds or 2-week-olds. Yeah. It was, and I think it just comes down to, one, you have to know that your energy affects them and everyone around energy affects them. So like you have to stay calm and stay chill. And then they feed off of your energy, and that helps as well to help them relax and settle into things. And so that was, I mean, a lot of people won't, and especially before pandemic, people were like, no, once you're over 8 weeks, forget about it. You're out of the window for newborns. But it's definitely not true, at least with us, you know. Can't speak for
awesome.
everybody on that.
That vibes, it's all about the vibes. It's true though. Like I feel that even like when I go into a bride's room, I mean, you know me, I come in, even if I'm freaking out, we're late, I am calm and cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing upsets me more if like another vendor comes in and starts like clanking and
Oh yeah.
I had one the other I told you about, but like I came in calm. I had the bridesmaids, everyone was good. The videographer was late. And he comes in with all his gear, clanking, banging, clamming, and you could tell he was stressed out. And he was like, I'm so sorry for late. And I was like, dude, even if you're late, just come in cool. Like you've been here before.
Yeah.
Because it totally
My first day.
It totally offset the entire vibe that I'd worked very hard and calming these cats down.
Yeah. Energy is, I think, in any faction of photography, like it sets the tone for how it's going to go. So
it makes sense even for more so a newborn too.
Yeah.
I'm going to start playing some nice calming sounds in these brides rooms.
Just do
some womb sounds. Turn it up to 98.6 in the room.
Yeah. They'll be great.
Nice and calm for sure.
Yeah.
No one will freak out at you.
What else do you do?
So I also randomly do themed cruises. So Jacob comes with me too. I've been trying to get this girl out for years.
I know. I
she's a busy girl,
but I was all by myself.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Yeah.
Talk about these themed cruises.
So, I mean, I started back in 2008 with the jazz cruise, and then it kind of has been like a morphed situation. I've done a bunch of jazz cruises. We did Star Trek cruise, 80s cruise, and the High Seas Rally, which is a biker cruise. They're all very different, but also very similar. The production company buys out the ship for the week.
Yep.
They take it over. They deck it out with themed, everywhere, whatever theme it is.
Because there are no regular guests.
No
on these ships.
regular guests. Yeah, it is all people that are there for this theme. And so we bring in a team of 10, video, photo, and we are there to kind of capture the essence of the cruise. We do a little montage for them at the end of the week. We put that together and put that out. And then we also provide for the guests, they get to download everything that we shoot for free. So it's like they don't have to worry about taking their camera out, taking photos of things, because we're everywhere getting literally pretty much everything for them. But it's fun. It's crazy. It's polar opposite of newborns, but it also, right, kind of taps back to where I started with bands when I, got out of high school. So it kind of like feeds that initial love in photography. And then, it gets just a little change up throughout the year of families and babies.
And it's something... So I've been doing it for a decade now with you at this point.
Yeah.
I've been doing 10 years of it.
Yeah.
It is something every time we get off the ship, because we usually do them a lot of times 2 weeks in a row. Because the
14
80s
days.
And the Star Trek cruise go back to back. Like the one guest get off, the next guest get on. And every 2 weeks, I swear to God, I go, that's my last one. Never again. And then you call and I'm like, I want to do it again.
Yeah. It's one of those things that until you experience it, you really you can't fully explain it. Yeah. It's such a high, like the whole week that you're on with all the, craziness and all the fun activities and, the actors and celebrities and musicians and the concerts. And then you get off and you're like, oh, that was a lot. But then you're like, okay, I'm ready to go again.
And it's not a vacation. I think some people we brought on knew that I think I'm going to get a week-long cruise vacation.
Yeah, a few people thought that, yeah.
We shoot from 8 a.m. till 2 a.m. Almost every day.
Yeah. Port days, every once in a while we sneak off to an island for a couple hours. But
sometimes something pops up where it's
sometimes you can't dock because of weather. And so then you go from... Cool, we were going to be at the beach for 4 hours too. Okay, now we're
more entertainment.
Yeah, now we've got stuff all day long, and we have to cover all that. So, and it's wild. It's something I didn't really ever plan to do or set out to do, and kind of fell into it and loved it, and still rocking with them.
We have a pretty good team at this point.
Yeah, I mean the team is incredible. Like everybody just brings something different to the table, and they're again back to energy. Their energy, the positive energy that everybody has, is just so uplifting, and everybody's there for each other. If someone goes down because they're sick, I got you. I was quarantined for 2 days because I got food poisoning one time. That's talk about awful, being food poisoned on a cruise ship.
Yep.
In a tiny bathroom. It was unpleasant.
Oh, no.
But I did get all my food and beverages brought to me, so that was kind of nice. But
perks, I guess.
We were, and the stories we have are bananas.
Yeah.
And we have like pretty close access to most of these celebrities where most of them recognize us and know our names now, which is kind of cool, especially on the Star Trek side.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a big Star Trek guy, but every week afterwards, you're kind of like, you get sucked in.
Yeah.
Because the people there are so excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And unlike other conventions where you go to a convention, you meet the celebrity at the table, he signs and he takes a photo, which still get done at these cruises.
Yeah.
You also will have them just sitting at a bar
Mm-hmm.
and a guest can literally just get in the seat next to him and
You're in a
just have a
buffet line
conversation.
with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know? Yeah.
like you almost have unfettered access to some of these celebs.
Yeah. It's definitely different in that way than a con for sure. And I mean, one of the celebrities, her husband and I are friends too. And like, he'd message me. He's like, I'm going to see you next year. Right. And I was like, yeah, I'll see you next year. He's like, I can't wait to see you. So, you know, it's just these friendships that we always say it's kind of like summer camp,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like you build these intense, deep connections with people
For a week.
and then you may or may not see each other for an entire year. And then you come back and then it's just like, you didn't skip a beat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like, oh my God, I love you. I love you. I love you. You know, and so it's great.
Yeah. The one that I did was like so low key. I feel like it doesn't even fall into
No,
this
you don't.
category because it was the jazz cruise, but like the boring version of the jazz cruise, I think.
You need to be
was.
more
Like
specific.
the mellow.
The straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yep.
the smooth jazz.
which is a little
Which
funky.
is- yeah.
Yeah. That was one of
And
my
there were
faves.
some people on the ship who were like, "Are you gonna be on the smooth jazz too?" And I was like, "No, not me, not me." But like, so they were into it. But yeah, that was actually so Ryan came with me.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was his first and only time on a cruise ship.
that.
And I feel like it wasn't a fair.
Yeah, that was on
try.
Celebrity, right?
It was on a Celebrity.
Love that shit.
It was a fun ship. Like
Yeah.
it was a good ship, and the port days were great. And we would go off like with the people on the excursions
Mhm.
to photograph them on the excursions.
Oh, yeah.
No, I remember
too.
that. Yep.
So that was fun.
I have some stories to tell that I'm not going to tell you.
Oh
That involves celebrities and excursions.
no! Oh no!
and-
See, I don't really-
Alleyways.
yeah.
this one, like, we didn't have any celebrity aspect to this. It was just the musicians,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even any like set aside times to get photos with the musician. Like it was just they're gonna play, and if you want to talk to them later, you talk
Yeah.
to them later. Or
Mhm.
like the comedians on board, like, you know, we just ran into Alonzo Bowden
Yeah.
and played poker with him. Like,
Love him. He said
yeah.
it was funny once, and to this day, I'm like, that means I'm
That is-
actually.
Yeah.
I was like, that means you're actually funny if a comedian says you're funny.
Did you see him when he was here like 2 months ago?
No,
or last
we
month?
actually I think it was a year or so ago. We went down to Tampa, and we didn't tell him that we were going. There was like 5 of us. We went and surprised him,
Mhm.
and that was the first one of the first shows he did where he had his new CD that had my photo as the cover. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. I was like, well, you have to sign it, so I have it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
There was one night, I remember, where we shot, there was an after party. There's always like a late night after party.
yep.
And we photographed it and then we were done. And so we were going to have the team had some drinks just to calm down. And then everyone started going to bed. And Amanda and I were like, we're going to keep drinking.
Oh no.
And so we kept drinking. And the next thing you know, some of the Star Trek celebrities show up and they were dancing. Like it was just a DJ and a stage. That was it. Because it's the after party.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, we get pulled up on stage with her.
Yep.
And me and Amanda just dancing on stage
Yep.
with this pretty famous Star Trek celebrity.
Yeah.
I'm like,
This
What
was
is
the first
going
year of the
on?
rave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first. So one of the actors, his buddies, they did. This is what they did outside.
Yeah.
Of,
Oh,
you know, was
okay.
they were DJs. They did raves, and so they brought the rave on board, and like people were face painting, glow paint, and I mean it was.
Oh my gosh.
It was a good. I mean, I'm glad
Yeah.
we stayed because
Yeah.
it was definitely an experience like that I'll never forget.
but no one
Yeah.
believed us because
Yeah.
they all went to bed.
Yeah.
It was me, you, and your sister, I think,
Yeah,
at that point were left.
Yep, that we were the only ones left, and we were like, because the music was just
Yeah.
so good because it was not a ship DJ. You know, this
Mhm.
was like a legit DJ.
Right.
So we were like, we're not going to bed. This is music banging. Like
Next thing you know, I'm up on stage with a Star Trek actress and she dancing up on me. And I was like, yo, I got a family.
pretty sure there's a photo somewhere.
I know.
Of that.
But then
Yeah.
even like the people down, they were like, they recognize us. And
Mhm.
we're not famous by any means, but like
Right.
they know us enough that like,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they see us with our access and, you know, being backstage and stuff. So next thing you know, they're screaming us on and I was like, woo! So this white boy can dance.
pulled,
When
out
he's
his,
drunk.
pulled out his best dance moves.
When he's
That's
drunk.
what you've said. I have yet to see it myself.
Yeah.
Drunk Jacob is a
He
delight.
only comes out a few times a
Yeah.
year, but It's a special event.
It's a gift for anyone that sees it.
It's a special event, yeah, for sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have another one coming up.
Yeah.
And-
Yep. We've got Star Trek and 80s coming up February, March.
Yep.
So looking forward to that.
Oh.
Some good bands out there. A lot of my favorite actors coming out. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You should do one sometime, Dawn. Before it's too
I
late.
know. Every time Amanda sends me the dates, I'm like, I already booked something. It's like right in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
And it's like
that crossover between the two. Yeah, that's the hard part when one feeds into another, because it's always that weekend where you have to get on or else you can't get on the ship.
Right.
That
I know.
No.
All right.
Cool.
Anything else you want to talk about your photography life, business? Anything we missed? That's what you want to focus on?
Not that I can think of.
Mm.
I mean, a lot of the clout truly does go to Laura. You guys know that.
yeah.
We always joke everybody needs a Laura.
Uh-huh.
Well, you have a Laura. You
I
have a Crystal.
Yeah. I mean, you can borrow,
I love it.
you can borrow her anytime you want. Yeah. I
is
offer her up.
She has been my cheerleader lately
Yeah.
with like a little mini business coach. Like
They-
I hear
yeah.
her voice in my head.
Exactly. Yeah. She is the wind beneath my wings, as I say.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen without her. None of it happens without her. So
Same.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Crystal, I would just shoot for free. Just to avoid any kind of confrontation whatsoever.
Yeah. You want that? Okay, I got you.
Can you shoot this 24-hour wedding for $10? You know what? Sure.
I'm open that
Just
day.
don't text me or email me, please. I'll do it.
I did have your house and setup in mind when we were shopping for houses,
Yeah.
because you have your studio in your house and like part of your house is set aside for like viewing or client meetings or
Yeah.
whatever. And so when we were shopping for houses, I was like, oh, I could use this room and it could be set up like Amanda's house and I could use this room. So we didn't quite get what you guys have set up, but I did get this room.
It works for sure.
We can have access through this side gate to come in this way. So I have had headshot clients that have come in and done things
And
in
we'll,
here.
we'll put Dawn's address right
A
there.
Bing.
Google pin for you,
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, no, that was when we were shopping. We were specifically looking for, something that could work for both and for growth. And at this point, we're kind of like, maybe we'll look for a studio because there's other things I want to do and I need more space. But a lot of our clients, they truly don't want us to. They're like, don't do it. It'll ruin the vibe. So we keep that in mind because obviously, like, when they come to our house, we have our space where we're doing this, the babies and whatnot, and they have access to the full reclining leather sofa, the big TV, the snack fridge. It's a very cozy, comfortable environment. And a lot of the times I'll pop my head out because it's really quiet. Mom and dad are asleep, and I'm just like, to us, that is the biggest compliment is that you can fall asleep and take a nap while we're photographing your baby because you trust us that much. And let's face it, newborn parents.
Yeah.
A 30-minute nap is gold. Like that is liquid gold.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Does it ever get not frustrating, but having your house though be part of it? Because I've been to your house. Like it's not like it's a section of it, but it's still in the main part. Like you have to be like, well, this is where I like to relax, but it's also my work space. Does it ever get in the way, or you?
I mean, I think I've definitely had moments where I'm like,
or I have to keep it clean all the time.
well, I mean, it definitely is clean all the time. But definitely sometimes where I'm just like, I need all of the equipment out of like one room and into another room so I don't see it for a weekend or I don't see it for a couple of days.
I'm the same way with my gear. Like I put my gear in a closet and be like, I do not want to look at you. If I see this bag.
Yeah. And I think that like the way that we have it set up, we are pretty much able to kind of get it out of our face for the most part so that we can have that disconnect between work life, home life, Yeah. And that was definitely something we focused on the last couple of years was really finding that balance better between work life, home life, friends, family and all that.
Sure.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit last week.
Yeah.
Just better balance throughout the course of the year so that we don't have to have like a busy season. We can just work consistently throughout the whole year. How can we get ourselves to that place so that we don't forget what our families look like in October?
Fourth quarter, I think with all businesses, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, definitely this year we had a little more balance even in fourth quarter, which was nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well,
All right.
What'd you shoot this week? That's what we do next. We always tell about what we shot this week. So what'd you shoot?
Okay, so the cutest thing ever, a client of ours, he has one of his best friends. He purchased a newborn session for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in his messages, it was just like the cutest thing ever. He's like, I remember when she brought him home for the first, because they lived together, to meet everybody, and now they're bringing their baby home, and like just like the whole, like, it was so endearing. Like you could just feel the love coming from him for his best friend and their family that's growing, and
Sorry.
What?
Ding dong.
Why do you ruin it?
The computer's here.
Every time.
It was good. It's an emotional break because I saw you starting to tear up, and we didn't want to have to get tissues involved.
I apologize for that. Please
fine.
continue.
So it was really cute. So we did their newborn. They did want a little bit more of that lifestyle, which is not typically what a lot of our clients want, but like we've loved that as well. And I've gotten to do it a little bit more this year, so that's been fun. And so like when she said that, I was like, absolutely, game on! Like, let's do this. So we did a little cute little bed set up and got them all cozy and with the baby. And one of the things that they really loved was the details. So like their tiny little hands, their feet, their nose, their eyelashes. And this is like ring shots, right? I love details. So when she said that, I was like, yes. So, I mean, I, of course, went all out on the details and had so much fun. But they were just such a loving couple. You could see the love between them. Is like, they've been together for a while, but it looked like year one love. And that is one of the things that like fills my cup when we're shooting, is seeing that love between a couple and then their baby. And like the dad, he was just so doting. And it was just all the feels and like a perfect kind of end of the month fill up. And it was everything. And the fact that like their best friend, you know, loves and cares for them enough to like give this gift to them. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Well, we should.
John shot a wedding for $200 probably.
We should have had you go last.
What'd you do?
Well, I did have a really fun shoot. So I got to take pictures of my sister and nephew. So I know we haven't talked in a long time, and I don't put pictures of, my sister doesn't have pictures of my nephew on social media at all. So not everyone knows, but AJ is almost 2. Yeah. And so she got them like matching Christmas pajamas, and we did pictures of them on the couch. And then she has this really cute like felt Christmas tree that she hung on the wall, and it has like Velcro ornaments, so he can move the more ornaments around the tree. So we got pictures of him playing on that. So I got to do that. And then I did have another session that it was actually a very special session. It was a family. They just had a baby, but they're going to have to be putting their dog down soon. And they don't have any pictures of the 4 of them. So it was very sweet. You know, the baby was, I don't know, 5 or 6 months old. Yeah. So she did sit up for some by herself. So we did even get some of the dog and the baby sitting together in the grass. And the parents were like, wow, we didn't think she could sit for that long. But they like really wanted to try. And we got them both laying down, like looking up at me. Aww. It was cute. But, you know, I sent a few sneak peeks, and they were just so happy to like have those pictures. So we, of course, like, as I'm with them on the session, like I'm talking about our dogs, and because they're like, we just don't want to wait too long. When's the right time? And so then I'm telling them what happened with each of our dogs, and then we're all crying. Yeah, I'm not crying, you're crying. So, but I'm glad that I was able to fit it in. Like they contacted me, and we had the session like 3 or 4 days later. So it's important. I mean, they're a family member, you know? Absolutely. Yeah. I remember when we knew it was almost time for Sasha, we had our friend Meg come, and she did pictures of the 4 of us. And then when we knew it was almost time for Zuko, then Stephanie came here and did pictures of us like in the backyard and out front and stuff. Sure. I know. Sorry. I'll call you next time for free. I look forward to shooting your next dead dog. So. Right? Don't call me. Call him. I'll cry the whole time. I know. But they were, I mean, Meg and Stephanie are huge dog people. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I did it for Kristen. Oh, yeah, you did. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember those. They were beautiful. Thank you.
All right, let me
So
go.
yeah, go ahead.
Because I want to fly through mine because I want to get to our
Okay.
not photography.
Okay.
So I did a Universal with Stephanie,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just straight up say it is that time of year where we should not be doing them because it is way too busy.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be insane.
Even when you
just
get
to
there
park
early.
and walk.
Even when you get there early, like the extra hours because we have the passes,
Mhm.
it's still
Insane.
Bananas.
yeah.
Are you saying I shouldn't go tomorrow to see the Macy's Day Parade?
Well, no, I think you can go. Just don't want to do a photography session in
Okay.
the middle of it.
Fair.
Then you're good.
Yeah.
I had an engagement session for a
Mhm.
wedding that I'm looking forward to next year. And then I did a own wedding at the Citrus Barn, which we talked about
Mhm.
last week,
Mm-hmm.
which weirdly I had never been to. I thought I'd been to all the
Ever After barns.
because when you say that, like,
Yeah.
yes, I've been to all of them because they're all the same, even though they're not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I get there, I was like, well, this is new. Haven't been to this one.
So
Yeah.
if you listen to last week's podcast, this is the venue with the swing where
Yeah.
my groom fell off the swing.
Whoops a daisy.
We did not go on the swing.
Yeah.
But it's also the closest one to me, I believe.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, I should be, why haven't I come here more?
Yeah.
I know.
Put me on this one.
That's fine. It was a second marriage, almost a vow renewal type thing. Older people with older kids, which are my favorite
Yep.
because they just want to party.
Yep.
They've already played this game before.
Yep.
They want to get married, have a couple great photos of their family,
Yep.
couple newlywed photos,
Mhm.
And then they're ready to
Reception.
reception. Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
because they missed the reception on the first one.
Exactly.
So easy peasy.
Cool. All right.
Not photography corner.
So, since you did start with bands,
Yes.
and since there's a lot of music involved with the cruises, we were going to talk about our top 3 concerts that we've ever been to.
Ever.
Into
Ever.
or photographed?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh. I'll throw one in for fun.
All of the above.
If you enjoyed it, then
Yeah.
I guess it's your best
Well,
concert.
Dee Snider was one of my favorites to photograph, just because he was like so energetic and in your face.
Mhm.
So it was a ton of fun. Knight Rider was about the same. That's that old like 80s, like they're going crazy with guitars
Mhm.
everywhere. And so it's just, for me, it's like Kid in a Candy Store. But actual concerts that I've attended, like I said, we could go by eras in my life and really put like 1 2 through 3 for each section. But
So if we
Um,
went overall,
overall,
so we're gonna start with honorable mentions.
okay.
And we'll work our way up to 1.
3 to 1.
Okay, so 3 to 1 or honorable mentions?
Honorable
Honorable
mention,
mentions.
3, 2,
Okay.
1.
So honorable mention, Chris Stapleton. Saw him, and he was incredible. Another honorable mention would be Judah and the Lion. A lot of people don't know them, but
Mhm.
they are
You know,
incredible alt band. And the show was just
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking
bananas.
about Jacob and I at like bar and bat mitzvahs, and the DJ plays a song. And we're like, who the heck is this? It's like another person we don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. 3 would probably be Coldplay.
Mm.
That was our daughter got it for us for Christmas, so that was a dope one. 2 would be probably a band that a lot of people don't know as well. It's called Mute Math, and they're no longer together. But one of the sickest
no
shows
shit.
I've ever been to in my life, especially these two.
Yeah, beat that
Like
up.
the drummer took the drum kit into the middle of the pit and was just like on top of people's heads playing. It was and number 1 would probably be Billie Eilish.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good old William
It's a
Eilish.
close tie between Billie and Madonna, honestly.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we should have just again not had you go first.
Mine are cool.
Mine are not. Although you did remind me of another band that the drummer came down in the center.
Yeah.
So Dawn's are going to be lame, so she should go.
Okay.
I know Dawn.
Okay, so honorable mention. So, okay, if we go back to the was it How We Got the Shot? Yeah, it was How We Got the Shot. My picture was Courtney and Brad for Courtney's maternity pictures. So Brad is a musician. So honorable mention would be like any of the shows I went to see of him when we were in college, and it was like at the Social downtown.
yeah.
Like I remember one of the times it was on my birthday.
I will.
It was on my birthday, and the lead singer like made a big deal about it being my birthday on stage, and like
Yeah.
Brad was like, dude, you're killing the vibe here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out to Berman, no longer together, but fun to like be in with the band, you know,
Absolutely.
and to be like downtown. That was probably
The
the,
Social
last
is
time.
like-
It's probably the last time I went to the Social, let's be honest.
Yeah, you're
Was
52
in,
years
like-
old. You should not be going to the Social.
Okay. So then number 3, would be Big Bad Voodoo Daddy at Epcot during the Food and Wine Festival. Because it was the first trip Ryan and I took together to Disney. It was when we still lived in Georgia. And I was really into swing dancing at the time. And we had met dancing. And so Big Bad Voodoo Daddy was playing. And we were like dancing in the aisles. And then we definitely got yelled at by the staff at Epcot.
It's not that kind of show.
But that was, I mean, to swing dance and
Yeah.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, like that's fun.
Kind of a full circle
that's
moment.
Like a fun
Yeah.
concert thing. Okay.
1998 all over again.
Okay, so then number two, I think would be Foo Fighters.
Oh, yeah. They're an honorable mention for me, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw them, I think at Amway Arena.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was called then,
Mm-hmm.
or
Center.
whatever it's called now. I don't know.
Were they like the old one when it was like a high school gym? The Amway
No,
Center
no,
was the
no.
old one. Then the Amway Arena is
No,
what's
no,
there
no.
now. And now
Arena.
it's the Kia Center.
Okay, yeah. But it was when it was Amway Arena,
Okay,
I think.
yeah.
But same thing, they like dropped the drum set from the ceiling.
I think we were at the same concert.
Maybe we were.
Pretty sure we were.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So good. It was probably back in, it was before I moved to Georgia. So like 2007.
7? Must be because that's what was in my head.
Yeah. That sounds real right. Sounds right. So yeah, so Foo Fighters. And then
Every time.
and then number one would be Linkin Park.
Nice.
Never
I
got
saw
to see them. Yeah.
I saw them out in Tampa in like 2003 or something.
Yeah.
And like 2002, well, sometime 2002 is when Meteora came out. So it had to have been like shortly after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was real into Linkin Park then. And it was one of my high school friends. She and I went. She was at UF at the time. So we both drove to Tampa to go see it. I think it was on USF's campus, like in their arena.
Yeah. Definitely one that I wish I would have seen.
Mm-hmm. You can still go see them there.
But it's not the same. But that's like seeing Journey.
Yeah.
Did you watch the like the live stream of their first time back with the new lead singer?
I did not. I'll have to look it
It
up.
was.
I thought you have 8 hours of editing to do.
You were watching it too.
Yeah, I don't have 8 hours.
This was
of
months ago at this
Oh,
point. But yeah, it was. They like live streamed the first show back.
Yeah.
Okay, I turned off the.
That came from over there.
Okay. Not my fault. All right, go ahead.
All right. So
Bring us home.
I was like I have 2 honorable mentions. My
Mhm.
first one, because it's hilarious. My first concert I ever went to, my parents dragged me to, was Michael Bolton.
Dragged
Yeah.
him too.
Uh-huh.
I was like 8. But guess who the guest star was?
Who?
Kenny G. That is 100% true story.
Oh my God. That's
That's why I don't go to many concerts anymore.
It's a lot of curly hair.
That's a lot of curly hair.
No offense, Don.
They're
Yours is
bald,
beautiful.
but yet long curly hair at the same
Yeah.
time. Very confused.
It's like a mullet.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So that was one of my first concerts at like 8 or 9. Just
Wow.
going, what is this? And just 40-year-old women just screaming their
Yeah.
beehives off. All right. My other honorable mention was in college. I didn't get free tickets, but a group I was got free tickets to the Family Values Tour. So this is 2001 or 2002,
Mhm.
right around there. And the lineup was Stone Temple Pilots was the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Some other band I remember, some band I never heard of, and a band it's called Stained.
Mm.
I'd heard Stained. I liked their music. I was
Yep.
excited for
I like
that.
them.
I go there. The first band was who knows. Then it was Stained, and they were okay. They're just kind of guys sitting in a corner, just crying and screaming. So I was kind of bummed. And then this other band came out, and this other band was called. I never heard of them. They were called Linkin Park, and they tore the house down. So much so that literally that night I went and bought Hybrid Theory.
Mm.
That's how good they were. Like I think I
Mhm.
bought it from the actual arena, which probably cost me $800
Yeah, yeah.
when you still had to buy CDs and listen to it all the way home.
They were so good live.
So good.
Like we were up at the very top of the USF arena and it was still out of control
Mhm.
Yeah.
watching them. And I should have said it was also Good Charlotte and MXPX.
Oh, nice.
So it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like a constant build up.
I can't
but-
do concerts like that up in the top
Yeah.
because I'd have to like.
But we were all still doing that up there.
But I would have fallen
Yeah.
over the edge because we all know how
Uh-huh.
not clumsy I am.
But still to this day, it's not the best concert I've ever been to, but they were the best live band I've
Mhm.
ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like for guys that you didn't know who they were
Mm-hmm.
because in the end had just started hitting the radio. Like that's how new they were.
Wow.
Mhm.
And they blew the house down.
Yeah.
And then we left during Stone Temple Pilots because the lead singer, who I think is dead now, he started getting naked.
Oh.
And he was so
Well,
drawn.
that's a
coked up.
choice.
Like he couldn't sing.
Yeah.
And we were just like,
Mm.
we out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't
Mhm.
stay. I went and
We
bought
already
my
saw
CD and got home.
We already saw the main act.
Yeah. So that was my honorable mentions. So number
Mhm.
3, though, is now remember, I saw most of my concerts in college and high school
Mhm.
as a very white kid in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Those are all the things to be said. But number 3 was I went to a family values tour, or not family values, anger management tour.
Oh. Mhm.
And the lineup was Exhibit, Papa Roach,
Mhm.
Eminem,
Love me some
Mhm.
Papa Roach.
and Limp and Biscuit.
Oh my gosh. Why
And-
weren't we friends way back then?
I
'Cause I
know.
totally would have gone
Yeah.
to that
I would have went to
concert.
that too.
And I bought floor seats, and all like 10 of the boys from high school, we all went, and we
Mhm.
got there early. We were down. I was on the wall. Like I was
Yeah.
on the fence for the whole thing. And this is again, 2000-ish. So if you remember, Limp Bizkit had just played Woodstock.
Mm.
And remember when they
Mm.
between them and Metallica, they burnt the place to the ground.
Yep.
I was a little worried. Like I was kind of nervous. And they did a good job though, because Exhibit came out and he was chill and it was
Yeah.
Exhibit. And then Papa Roach came out and Papa Roach got a little scary.
Mm.
That was the only time like I was holding on to that gate for dear life. Because
Saying
and
his
then-
prayers.
yeah. And then Eminem came out and it was chill again. And then
Mm.
Limp Bizkit came out and it was actually like, it wasn't scary. It was just chill, but like everyone was like, yeah, but it wasn't like,
Yeah.
but I was front row. He was right there. Fred Durst, all of them,
Yeah.
just rocking out.
That's crazy.
Was it all about the he said, she
That
said?
was all of it. They had a giant robot. It shot fire and fireworks, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
Oh.
A more recent concert, because I finally got to see him, which is probably my favorite band. I saw him at House of Blues here at Disney Springs. Dashboard Confessional.
Mm, mhm.
Huge Dashboard Confessional fan. I have waited 20 years to finally catch
I
them.
think I've seen them like 5 times.
Yeah, I know. But just the fact that I was like, emo,
Mhm.
19-year-old
Yeah.
Jacob
Yep.
just going like,
Yeah.
screaming infidelities. Because Crystal and I went, we stood
That's
in
so
the,
fun.
like, we had floor standing room general admission, but we still like stood off to the side because we're old. I'm not, rushing the stage or anything, but we just chill.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then my first, this would be number 1, my very first concert that wasn't Michael Bolton was, again, me and this group of high school friends, Portland, Oregon,
Mhm.
circa 1999, 1998, the Up in Smoke tour.
I
With,
can't believe you remember the names.
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
those
I don't
tours.
remember the name of all the tours.
this is who was
though.
there. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg,
Mhm.
Exhibit, Eminem, Nate Dogg. Like,
Oh, Nate Dogg.
yeah, the entire crew.
Yeah.
And that concert was awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was right after the 2001 Dr. Dre album came
Mm.
out,
Mhm.
and it
Yeah.
was nonsense.
Mhm.
And I didn't understand why there was a haze of smoke when the lights turned on at the end. Didn't really understand that.
You were real hungry after
Real
that, right?
hungry.
Yeah.
And we were sitting up top too. Like I was in the top.
Hot air
So
rises.
I was probably wasted out of my mind off secondhand smoke. But
Secondhand.
So this conversation has made me remember two things. So Newfound Glory is from Coral Springs, and I did see them when I was in high school. They were like playing on the inner field of this track at the high school.
they're one of my I can't believe I've missed them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love Newfound Glory. Sticks and Stones, that album is a certified banger.
Well, I saw them back in
Every
like
single song.
1999, 98. Just, I was walking around the track. We weren't even
Yeah.
like watching them. They were just playing. And then I did see Three Doors Down. They were the
Mm.
homecoming concert at UCF
Mm.
my freshman year. And it sticks out in my memory because we were all the way up in the front, up against the gate, and
Yeah.
like the lead singer threw out his towel, and there was like a drumstick and stuff. Like me and all my friends, like we got all the
All the
stuff that
stuff,
they
yeah.
threw off the stage.
Yeah. I did have one that I remember too, which I had wished I had seen her back in the day, but I'm very thankful she resurged Missy Elliott's tour.
Oh,
Nice.
mhm.
It was Timbaland, Busta, Sierra, and Missy Elliott. And when I tell you, I got out of that concert and was like, where's the next city we can go to see it again?
Yeah.
it was all their bangers, one right after
Mhm.
another. And like we were so hype,
Mhm.
and I like really it took me like an hour and a half at least to come down from that.
I bet.
That's why I like those concerts too, because you have all these bands and they're not there for the entire time. So like you were just getting certified banger. So
Yeah.
there was you never lull.
No, never. It was one right after another, and they didn't even like really pause between artists. It would be like they would do a song that they like did together, and then it would just lead into that next artist because all of them have been featured on each other's tracks. So yeah, yep.
If I had to watch like an hour and a half Eminem concert, it would be like you'd be like, all right, come on, like is it Limp Bizkit? No, but then you get them together and it's just boom, boom, boom.
Yep. That's why I did Warped Tour and things for so many years because you just got like little bits of everybody. I mean, Paramore saw her when she was like her first coming out, her first Warped Tour, and like it was insanity. Like there was little kids getting like trampled over, and I'm here picking the kids up because like all the other idiots weren't paying attention. But yeah,
I never did Warped Tour. I should.
It's coming back.
It was all my music.
It's coming back next year.
Never did it.
Yeah, so you can. You still can.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right.
I'm gonna be busy that day.
Less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, tell me the lineup and then we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll come for one song.
It's not out yet.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. If Limp Bizkit's there, yeah, he'll be there.
Have you seen Fred Durst recently?
No.
He has like a full white beard. Like he's unrecognizable.
I don't want to.
Santa Durst?
Yeah. Like he was on a Hot Ones or something recently.
Oh.
And it was just like,
I do not understand the popularity of that show.
who is this guy? We're getting off topic.
Okay.
All right. Well, we never know how to end these, but thank you for coming.
No,
Yes,
you're welcome.
thank
Thank you guys
you.
for having me. It's always fun to see you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bonus.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.